But yeah, we're going to talk about tech for all the actors out there, or really even if you're not an actor, if you're just a person in life, having good tech setup is, unless you're off the grid, if you're one of those off the gridders, more power to you. You got your little vegetable garden in the middle of the woods and a windmill to power everything.
Yeah.
But if you're like the rest of us and you live in this 3D world of society and media, you got to have a good tech setup. So we always talk about auditions here. And a big reason that Actors Audition Club exists is so that actors don't need to think about tech. They just book their sessions, focus on their craft and their performance, and making their strong choices, and then come in and have someone run the tech and run the session and edit it all for them. But there's still a certain level of technical savvy that I think is important for actors to have, and not even important, necessary these days. Which is the challenge for a lot of actors, because the challenge used to be, now it's like part of the job's description is, can you run Zoom? Do you have a webcam? Do you have a phone cam? Do you have a mobile studio? When you're on the road, do you have your studio? Do you have your backup studio? Can you edit? Can you post to all these social platforms? So this episode is just to talk about some of those things. And again, I think our goal is always to strive to get better. So wherever notch you are today, tech wise, can you up level your home studio setup? Can you get a little better? Can you be a little more prepared? So that all of this stuff, because you're right, if you're an actor, you could be begrudgingly saying like, oh, why do I got to worry about this stuff? Like, I just want to be an actor, and then now I got to be an editor and figure out Zoom and be on the screens all day long. So you got to know it enough, or you got to delegate it, but at least know it enough so you don't need to be stressed about it. So you're just competent, which makes you able to be confident, and then you don't have to sweat it. It's just like not a big thing. Because the last thing that you want is extra stress going in, like, oh, is my camera going to be set up? Can they hear me? Can they see me? Is my lighting fucked? Like all of these things, you want to remove that, and just really, it's all clear the path, clear the runway, so you can just deliver the goods in a performance of a lifetime. But there's some tech steps that go along to it. So that's the preamble to today. And I will say today, we even, no, I'll save that. I'll save it for later. What's number one? You got a talking point number one?
Number one is have a backup camera ready. Now, a lot of this topic came from, we run Zoom sessions here at the studio, and sometimes there are tech issues that go wrong that you don't really have control over. Sometimes the Wi-Fi starts going funky. Sometimes things happen. And really, especially if you're recording over Zoom, your agent might not submit that tape because either the camera is blurry, the sound is wonky, it's not good. It's not submittable. Like we want to be submitting our best possible take, which is why, especially when you come to the studio here at Laughing Vikings, we take away all those issues for you so that all you have to do is come in and play. But if you're booking a Zoom session with us, your Wi-Fi, your internet is being relied on to do some of this stuff, to have a strong connection so that there is no delay in the reader speaking or you speaking, or like if it goes or something like that, something during the take.
If it goes what? If it goes what?
If it goes something like that,
I like
it's not submittable.
That's my favorite part in the audition, when it goes,
really?
ooh, they're like, ooh, I love this. That was a strong choice there when you went. Yeah, I mean, these are, again, we always talk about this. These are massive opportunities. Any single audition could be the one that changes the trajectory of your career. At the very least, you want to continually be moving in a forward, hopefully upward direction. But also, what does that even mean? But you want to be continuing to improve and putting your best foot out there, and everything that can distract them from you and your eyes and your reactions on camera, like tech, like sound, like focus, like lighting, all of those things. You want to have it on lockdown. And I think that for some people, it might be like, oh my God, extra camera. It's like, I don't have thousands of dollars. Just focus on the first camera, and then if you have a backup, have a backup. It's like, and then if you
Yeah.
can have a backup to the backup, and you got a backup, it's just how many layers of foolproof systems. And then what does that allow you to do? It allows you to just rest assured, hey, nothing ever goes wrong.
Yeah.
And when it does, I have the solution to that. And when it goes double wrong, I got the number 2 solution because I got a double backup, you know? So
And
it's like
really, the
bolster.
best and most simple backup is this. We've talked about this before. Your phone is a fantastic backup. Most of the time, it has a stronger camera than Zoom does.
Yeah,
So
especially now.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially now with technology and such. So
Well,
if you have either your phone or another like HD camera or something like that you can just press record, and like if your internet's wonky and your reader's sort of cutting in and out, that's not bad. That's not as bad as having you, the focal point of the audition, being cutting in and out or freezing or that
right.
sound that
Yeah,
coming out.
that just can't happen.
That
It's like
can't happen.
you really have to have the professionalism of what professional TV and film looks like.
Hmm.
And you never watch a TV show and you're like, oh, did the sound just cut out there? Or
Yeah.
oh, did it just slow down and the frame rate got all fucked up and then I couldn't
Hmm.
see them and then I couldn't hear them? It's like that never happens. So I would say like never submit something that is anything less than it's like we talk about how sports referees, the best referees are in hockey, are the best baseball umpires. Ideally, you don't even think about them. They just do their job and you don't even notice them. When you do notice them, it's usually because they've made a mistake or they've made some controversial call. And it's the same with tech. You notice it when it's bad. You're not usually looking at an Oscar-winning film going, wow, everything is in focus and I can
Hmm.
hear everything.
Yeah. It's
um,
also important to note that especially with Zoom, it downgrades the quality uh, of um, of the tape.
Yeah,
Um,
Zoom traditionally makes it 720p as well, and
Yeah. So
um,
so especially filming on your phone, it'll be a stronger resolution.
yeah,
So again, it's just good to have these backup plans for if something fails. That's why we're doing this today. That's why we're talking about this, so that you're ready to go when you have that big audition and you're not fumbling around and like, oh my God, the Zoom isn't working, my Wi-Fi is cutting in and out. What am I supposed to do?
right,
Now you know. Have
yeah,
something. Be
yeah,
prepared.
and that would extend to batteries, to SD cards.
Yes.
Like, don't only have one battery or one charger. It's like, how many times have you lost a charger and then been like, oh fuck, I don't have a charger? But if you ever lose a charger and you have a backup charger, it doesn't affect your life at all.
Yep.
Like, then you just got to make a mental note. Oh, at some point I'll go replace the backup. But it's like forgetting your charger. Or say you're on the road. A lot of times actors go on the road and you're in a hotel, and that's when you get the big thing when you're on vacation. Either you're on the road working, like you're out of town, or you're just on a
Hmm.
vacation. And the old adage is like, you want to get a big audition, it's book out with your agent and go take a vacation. And the day you arrive, you're going to get an audition request. But you got to have gear for that stuff too, so that you're not missing out on opportunities. Or you have to be okay with, hey, I'm going to miss out on opportunities because I don't have my tech shit together. Yeah, backup cameras. And you're really most phone cameras are amazing. Laptop cameras seem to be still lagging behind. Like most
Yeah.
people, if you just are using your onboard laptop, chances are it's maybe not high quality enough. You might need to upgrade to a webcam. So look into that as well.
Which is a
Um,
great segue into number 2 for this. Invest in equipment. Invest in, and like I was just listening to a podcast about this today. The TOVO podcast with Jonathan Sconza. Fantastic. I highly recommend it. And he was talking to Daryl Hogan, who works with Kim Herden Casting. And he was talking about the steps. There's steps that go into this process of the acting and voiceover and anything that you decide to do process. Learn the technologies as you go. You don't need to start with the best and most expensive camera there is. You can, But why not just invest in something that's 50, maybe $100, and then move up from there? Progressively get better and progressively get smarter in this business. That's what this business is all about. And that's what makes it exciting, is that the more you do, the more you're gonna learn about this technology and about the certain like a webcam that can zoom in and out, or something along those lines, or even having just a backup Wi-Fi router or something like that, so that way if one Wi-Fi goes out, you have another backup ready to go and you don't even need to worry about anything, right? Because it's all about that progression. Like you're not gonna be the star of a $100 million movie right off the top. Progressively get better. Progressively invest in tech as you go along, because that will help you along the way.
Yeah, you just got to understand that you're a professional. So at some
Yeah.
point, it's like, I mean, it doesn't matter what field it is in, you need the professional equipment. You got to use what the pros use, and realize there's a reason that they use that type of equipment as well. And that there's a difference. It might, like, when you're entering a space, especially if we're speaking, I mean, I know we have tons of people who are seasoned vets who listen and watch the podcast. If you're in the space of like the newer person entering the industry, you don't know what you don't know. So if you come in with the lowest quality, like minimum, like standards, you stand out as
Mm-hmm.
you're an amateur who doesn't know what they're doing and isn't where they need to be. And you don't want that. So, so yeah, do what you can with what you got. So if you're
Yes.
like, oh, I don't have that much money, well, invest as much as you can. And also you need
Mm-hmm.
to be making a decision, like, how bad do you want this? If in your head your vision is 6 figures, 7 figures, A-lister, leads of things, well, all of those people aren't spending their entire time worrying about $100 for a webcam. You know
No.
what I mean? Like, and again, there's a little cart before the horse, and you got to make it happen early on. But scratch and claw for everything that you can in the beginning. And you'd be amazed what you find used. You can ask friends. It's like the amount of photographers who bought DSLR cameras because they wanted to be photographers, but then they're just hobbyists who are dabbling, and then they have this $2,000 camera in their closet, not doing anything. It's like you find that stuff for sale all the time. So if you don't want to spend new, there's something to say about new, because maybe you get warranties and then you know that everything is taken care of that way. But if you're concerned about the money, then buy it for half price or a third of the price used, and that's great. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even things like backdrops and lighting, they're like so easy to find on secondhand shops, or even like
Yeah.
nowadays garage sales. You see tripods at garage sales all the time, or Value
Oh.
Village.
Hmm.
You see tripods. Photography, so many people want to be photographers that everyone's bought the equipment, and then people realize that they don't want to do it as a profession, and it just sits there. Like, it's like people who buy Bowflexes or treadmills,
Yeah.
or like it just exists. So yeah, you can find it. But yeah, see it as an investment, not as
Yeah.
as you see it as a cost, or I can't afford that. Also, that whole mentality, you want to be moving from scarcity into an abundant mindset. So if you're thinking, oh, I can't afford that, well, how can I afford it? Can you trade? Can you barter? Can you do a little work at a job to save up the money? Can you
Mm-hmm.
find it for less than market? Do you know someone who has one where you can just trade it? Hey, I'll come and mow your lawn if I can use your state-of-the-art camera setup in your studio. It's like, figure it out, really,
Yeah.
is the lesson. And just raise your own personal standards is what we're talking about with all of this. It's like the tech, all of this tech talk is only to serve a better production and end product in your auditions to help you book these roles. So whatever you can do to make that better, then do it.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Number 3, plug your computer into the Wi-Fi. Very
Uh,
simple. I feel it's pretty
right,
self-explanatory.
right,
Get that router cable, plug it in, and you shouldn't have any tech trouble.
right. So you're saying hardwire yourself
Yes.
into the internet rather than use the Wi-Fi. Yeah.
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 So yeah, hardwire is great because then you're just directly into the router, into the modem, less chance for things to potentially go wrong for you.
Mm-hmm.
Although
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is pretty great these days too. So it's also like, but then what's the like that 1% chance of something going wrong? Then
Exactly.
maybe you're
Yeah.
just like,
Because
oh, I'm already.
then it just takes the guesswork out of it, right? Like it's like, okay, it's plugged in. I am hardwired into this. I don't
Right.
need to worry about it. And
And
if you have a backup to that, even better.
and everyone listening who is an actor who is auditioning currently will know that a lot of the casting places in their breakdowns and audition requests list all this stuff because they've probably received hundreds, if not thousands, of awful auditions that maybe the performance wasn't awful, but the tech was crap on it. And they're like, we can't do anything with this. This person, even if they were a great actor, it looks like they're unprofessional or they're an amateur or it's just unbearable. You can't see them, you can't hear them, so they can't possibly consider them. That's a factor in things, and so much so that they're like, hey, here are all the things you should be doing. Here's a big like 2-page description of shoot in landscape, not in portrait, and make sure we can see you, make sure we can hear you. All of these things, which seems like it's almost one of these like the line of like common sense isn't so common. You'd think it's like, oh, they need to hear me and see me. So like keep thinking like, what does TV and film look like that you love? What do your auditions look like? And I know it's different. You're not gonna like, it's not like you're on set or you have a full backdrop and you're in full wardrobe, but framing, you can see them and you can hear them very, very clearly. There's never an issue of like, what did that guy say? I couldn't hear. There was a dog barking and a fire engine in the background that I don't think were part of it. Uh, what did he say? It just got choppy. That just lag?
I'm
That
not
just
sure what I'm
lag,
looking at.
right? At like the key moment, of the movie,
Mhm.
that final speech.
Yeah, can you imagine like
Ha! Uh, uh,
oh uh, oh
you want the truth? You can't handle the
uh,
to you goddamn right I ordered the code red. See, it
God.
doesn't hit.
I thought that was going to be more impactful.
Doesn't hit.
It doesn't get you. Doesn't get you.
No. Yeah. So just raise your personal standards. Raise your own bar. Those were a few little fun. Were there more on the list? These were just some quickies that you ran into last week based on sessions. Yeah.
Yeah, these are all based on sessions. And they're just very quick tips just to make sure that you're prepared for what could happen. Because
Yeah.
again, 90% of the time, it's gonna go great. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be amazing. But then there's gonna be that one time where your internet shuts out, and we have to figure out what to do. Because I don't want to submit a tape to your agent that is subpar. I want
Yeah.
you
You
to
really
have your
can't.
best.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. You might as well just burn it. It would be like, how would that work? Like, what's the equivalent of that in real life? It's like,
Mhm.
them not being able to see or hear you in real life wouldn't make sense. It's like, hey, welcome to the audition. Go ahead and action. And they
Mhm.
can't see and hear you in the room. So your self tape needs to they need to feel like they're right there for you.
Yeah.